Alrighty. My music isn't working for some reason, but I'm just gonna go ahead and jump in. I started the Gobbos and red Gobbos models last year and then put them away because the holiday was done. And now I have time and I'm gonna jump back into it. So I'm using this very light blue. I'm just gonna base the everything that's kind of snowy. I'm gonna thin it down a little bit and put it all over snow stuff. But use this one even though it's a little bit splayed out here. Not sure why my audio is not working. There we go. I just needed to reset the Bluetooth a little. Oop. Okay. So I'm putting it in the cup to thin it down because I don't want it quite so thin on the wet palette. It's also way too loud now. There we go. Can't hear myself think. All right. I could probably use a bigger brush, but this is going to work fine. I'll likely end up doing a couple of coats of this. Try and get it in all these cracks and crevices. Make sure it goes on the snowballs. Try and stay in frame as much as I can. I'm listening to the 2025 Fall Lane 8 mixtape, and I'm excited for the winter one to come out. I think it's probably going to come out in the next week or two is my guess. Usually it's sort of on the calendar date when the season begins officially. So probably like December 20th, 21st, something like that. It's going to drop is my guess. I don't have any insider information about that, but I'm also not worried about it. It's been pretty consistent, at least as long as I have been kind of following it. So just going around trying to get a sort of snowy white kind of look to this. I think I might actually switch to a bigger brush. That's probably a good idea. Do we go big? Probably. Number 8 seems good. Just get some water into the bristles a little here, and then I'm not worried about getting excess paint off because I'm just base coating right now, and I kind of want the saturation, and I can always just pull it around the model, the base right now. I think that'll be good. A little bit more in some spots that look like they're meant to be fresh powder instead of where it's all trampled down here. So a little bit around there, probably get some more on the snowballs move this base, and then I'll let this dry. Okay, that's good to start on that one. We'll do something similar here. This one's a little less textured. I don't know if that's, I think this one, which you can't see, but it's this one. Try and get the glare from the lights off of it. But I think it might be an older model, like by a year or two. So maybe they didn't have the texturing on the snow down. This is pretty flat overall. I might want to try and stipple in some like white or very, very light off-white blue, like lighter than this on top, just to give the appearance of like a powdery texture. I could always like actually do a powder on top, but not gonna worry about that. I don't need to get it on the little grot that's in there. I think that's the name. I'm not great at the names for these things. I'm pretty new to sort of the whole thing. I just think these models were fun, and I wanted to paint them. So, you know. We can get some of this on the snowman for this one. Get some very light blue on that. And I've got where the pieces join here is a little bit, I didn't quite get that smooth. I don't think I'm going to worry about it. It's probably going to disappear once everything's put together. I'm keeping stuff separate because I think it'll be easier to move around and get into the tight corners a little bit if I keep it separate for now. And I'm not worried too much about being super, super tidy on this, at least for this pass, because a little more water in the brush here. There we go. Starting to dry out. I'm downstairs by the, not next to, but like it's in the same room as the wood stove, so the brush tends to dry out a little bit faster in the sort of dry, warm space down here. Pull some of that forward around the base where I expect I'll want it kind of brighter anyway. Okay, I'll probably do a second coat of that in a little bit. Put that down for now. Put some on the snow here. I'm not too worried about getting it on the metal part because I can go over that again later, but it'd be a little bit neat. It's not a fantastic brush. I don't know if you can, oh yeah, you can. It's definitely picking up that the bristles are going kind of all over the place on this brush, which is fine for now. I'll probably do something a little bit neater with a more compact and tidy brush later. Spinning. And smooth some of this out a little bit. Really kind of pulling back there, so I'm just gonna bring the brush in and pull some of that paint out and redistribute it. There we go. There we go. All right. Adjust my grip a little. Yeah, this snowman is pretty textured, very kind of speckly texture on it, so it looks like it's kind of compacted snow, and I'm not gonna worry too much about the buttons because I'm gonna paint over that anyway. That's probably okay to start on that one. I think I'm gonna go back to the base and do another coat. Just gonna put some more water in my paint because drying out a little bit quick in this little silicone baking cup that I have. Try and get right to the edge of the base there. I've got poster putty or blue tack on connection points. Like the big gray thing there is blue tack that I put down so that I can actually get a good plastic to plastic connection when I do glue the different pieces together. Here we go. Nice. Okay. It's looking pretty good. Look on a couple of things here. Cool. All right. Back to this base. Again, this has the faint blue in it, so I want that to kind of sink down into the recesses to give depth to the snow. There we go. The little goblin doing doing snow angels. Sorry, getting distracted by chat messages in my friend group. I respond to them because they might drop in. Excuse me for reaching. There we go. Okay. I've got paint on my fingers, which is not unusual because I'm painting. That's just kind of how it goes when you're doing that. All right. Put another coat on the snowman's head. Part of me thinks could have put this on a handle, but candy canes also make pretty good handles, so I'm not too worried about it. That's not a weird way to hold my hand, but that's not bad. I'm just gonna get kind of the rim here so I don't have any gray peeking through where I don't want it. Just get inside a little. I don't think I primed that, so I don't know how well it's gonna bond really, but if I don't mess with it too much, it's probably not gonna be a big deal. There we go. Can I put that upside down? Probably not. Probably not. I think I want something to put that on. I'm gonna reach for something. Stand by. We're gonna see what we can find. Just gonna grab another baking cups because the silicone's not really gonna grab the acrylic too much. Now this one I probably could have put on a handle because it's got like the base there and I can blue tack that. I could always do that after. Probably let this, what I'm putting on, dry a little bit before I put it on a handle. It's going to be a little easier to maneuver around and get into the spaces that I need the paint to go with a handle. In fact, grab a little cup and blue tack and be ever so careful with pulling this apart. And those are thin. Whoa, making a mess. Making a huge mess. Stick that somewhere. I want to bend the arms of the snowman. Just wiggle it in place and squish down. There we go. Now it's on a handle. I've done it. Okay, that's still wet. Don't touch that. But what I can do, what more stuff? It's snow bases for the grot misses, Luke. And yes, huge mess. Huge. Very good. Yeah, I started these models last year. And then Christmas passed. And I was like, well, I can't paint them because that's illegal. So I put them away and haven't looked at them for probably 12 months. Super illegal. I would have gone, I almost fell off my chair there. I swear I have not had anything alcoholic to drink tonight. It's just, I don't know, residual from last year. Yeah, I didn't love this year's grot either. This year's grot just didn't speak to me. I'm backing away because I'm trying to find something to stick the other base on. In my just complete mess of supplies over here. This one, for reasons unexplained, I'm going to. Yeah, I don't know what it was. I think it was. I mean, I know what it was. I think it was the like robot thing. I just didn't love the sculpt of that. There. And now I have things on stuff. And that's neat. Yes, it was a very weird pose. I think they were trying to sell the robotic nature of it, would be my guess, but like it really didn't do it for me. Do I? I'm not in frame. There we go. That's a little better. So this guy is quite small. And here he's got sort of the, what is that, Soviet Russia star cap. I don't know if that's Soviet Russia. Wait, what am I eating? What am I eating? Okay, sorry, Luke. I didn't mean to get super political on you. I understand. A little trailing bit of fluff there. Okay, that's better. So tiny. So tiny. Here we go. I'm not listening to Christmas carols because I didn't think of that. That might have been a appropriate musical choice, but sometimes you just got to be a little inappropriate, right? Try and get a base coat on the little white band here. Get around this little star. Just paint the star because going around it at this stage doesn't make a ton of sense. Luke, do you have any of these models? Either of the, or any of the Christmas guys? Gobbos? Nerd, 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 nerd. Here we go. Nerd, 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 nerd. Great. Inside of the cloak. Here we go. Oops. My bad. Knocked into the camera. Which is my phone. Stand by. Technical difficulties. There we go. Haha. There. Okay. Actually, for now, let me do a bigger one. Bigger brush is what I'm meaning. Need more water. Woodstove really dries this out fast. And for some reason, I'm not doing the wet palette with this because I needed to, but kind of the scope of what I'm doing has expanded a little, as it usually does. I don't ever go overboard on stuff, right? Wait, there's a Bob Ross emote? It's neat. Brand, did you ever paint yours? Your Gobbos? Because I know you have like 2 copies of a couple of them, right? A large gray pile of shame. I know what that's like. I'm trying to do something about that a little bit at a time. But the problem is I often just add to it, especially with the printer. So, yeah, exactly. Oops. Yeah, do you really paint miniatures if you don't have a huge pile of unpainted miniatures? It hardly counts, right? I should put this on a handle as well because I'm just going to drop it again if I don't. I liked this guy. I just dropped him. That's a me thing. Do I have more blue tack around? I'm going to have to take blue tack off something else, aren't I? I am going to take blue tack off something else. I'm going to take blue tack off of this little mushroom that I painted a little while ago. Nice little morel mushroom. He seems neat. I don't have a name for it because why would I guess? It's going to go on the base of forest bases or something. Something war crow. All right. Blue tack this to try and keep it from spinning around too too much. It's probably still going to spin, honestly, because it's paper clip and it's pretty thin. But that's all right. I'll stay here a little while. For some reason, one of the only times that I sing is when I'm just like painting and listening to tunes, and that happens to be when I'm live streaming. And I wouldn't call myself a Pagliacci or anything. Oop. Paint goes on the model. There we go. Try and get in, but here, but conscious of how wide brush is. I like how he has a little sheriff scar. I sometimes have trouble talking. Yeah, it's definitely still spinning on the paperclip in the handle, but it's not terrible. Just gonna come in here. Trying to pick out all these sort of like white and snow stuff first so I can kind of figure out where other things need to go, and I'll probably get paint on these during the painting process, which is fine. I'll tidy them up later, but I think it just gives a little bit more for me to focus on. I can just start with this, right? Oh yeah, the big collar goes all the way back here. Get the brim of the hat here as well. Stop spinning so much. Murphy conked out on the couch downstairs by the wood stove after dinner, of course. Because why wouldn't he? That is pooling too much. Pull that away here. Good. Pooling a little there, but I think I just need to put a second coat down. Good. Okay. Now we go in with a lucky dog, yes. We spent a decent amount of time outside today. It was not super cold in the morning. And by morning, I mean noon. Because I woke up to feed Murphy around 6 and then went back to bed, and he and I slept in until 10:30. Humans can sleep there too. I've done it. I've fallen asleep on that couch, especially with the wood stove going. Okay. How... I don't think I need to paint that much in here because not really that visible, although I do want to get in there. Try and brace my hands on something. Run the brush up here a little bit. Okay. And then come in the side here. The only way is up from here. The only way is up from here. I don't think it's sculpted on this little snowball grenade thing, but I kind of think I might need to paint a little snowman face on it, you know? Oh, that didn't help because I didn't blue tack that down. But paint a little snowball face or snowman face on the snowball grenade. It just seems right. Okay. I think I need to do a different color now. And that color is going to be something. Red, probably. Need another handle. I mean, I have a ton of painting handle things, but they're covered in my Warcrow Cianon things. I'm gonna just pop one off and put it on a different base. See, this guy. Put that there. Did I drill a hole in this one? I might not have. That would be unfortunate if it is true. I don't see a hole on this dowel. Oh, maybe it's got one. Or maybe it doesn't. We'll find out. Ah, it had one. Nice. Can't fool me. I thought about doing this with the airbrush, but I don't think I need to, honestly. Put that out of the way. All right, red. Kind of want to use up some of these D&D paints because I don't love them. Well, the super glue just failed, so take the paper clip out of that and There we go. Okay. Shake the paint. That's kind of blocked. There we go. That's might be more than I need, but a lot of red happening on this. So. All right. Good. Oh no, my scissors are gone. Maybe I won't trim. No, I'll still trim. I'll just use these. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Got it. All right. Red. Yeah, these are. I find a lot of these D&D like starter set paints are very glossy, which means they don't always adhere to primer coat as much as I want it to. Do I have other paints I could use? Yeah, but if I don't use these paints, then they're just always going to be there. And so I think in my collection, I want to eventually replace them, which means using them or throwing them out, which feels wasteful because they're still paint. They still have pigment. Mm-hmm. Try and get the underbelly. Though I think typically, almost knocked the camera there. Actually, I don't know. Do the squigs usually have a different color underbelly the way that some animals might? Is that a thing? Yeah, it's definitely going to take 2-3 coats at least, maybe more. I mean, it's not drying super glossy, so that's not bad. It's just it behaves very glossy when I'm painting with it. There are paints I have that are not as, I think it's the old Army Painter formulation, which had this reputation. Okay. I hear the Fanatic line is good, like better. A lot of people seem to really like it. But I, in the spring, picked up Pro Acryl instead because I wanted to try it, and it was the first time I saw it. It was at sorry. It was at Out of the Box, and I was like, yeah, I'll get some Pro Acryl. And I like the Pro Acryl. I find it's pretty fluid right out of the bottle, which is nice. There you go. It's starting to fall off the blue tack. Not surprising. Also, how's the audio? I'm just curious because I remember listening back to one of my previous ones, and there was a lot of like background noise, and so I put a noise gate on my audio receiver, which is technical talk for my phone input, and that's supposed to help. Is there a lot of room noise happening? Okay. Do the outside of this cloak. Mm-hmm. Just trying to get the angle because I know depending on where I put this, I'm going to be able to see that little line that I didn't paint in the hat. It's like just right in there. There we go. Okay. This part in the mixtape is French. The nice part about the wood stove drying the paint is that you can generally get a couple coats down before I need to set it aside because by the time I'm done one layer, it's almost already dry. Get the armpit. Try and brace it on my hand so it doesn't spin so much. There we go. There we go. Now we're putting paint on the model. Brown pants, black. Sure. Okay. I mean, first coat. First coat's fine. Okay, second coat on the beast. It's the most normal reindeer I've ever seen. I think zoomed in is preferable. Super normal reindeer. Mhm. Get up around the face. I don't know if the wind just picked up or snow fell off the roof or something, but big creaks all around the house. I don't know if it picked up on audio that. That wasn't dry enough. Started peeling that paint off. Leave it alone. Hello. Welcome. Duty 93? How's it going? Nice. Yeah. I'm painting the holiday, couple of the holiday goblin models. They're from previous years. I wasn't a huge fan of this year's model. I started these ones last year and then kind of ran out of time before Christmas, and something in me said, well, I can't paint this after Christmas. It's not the time of year. So I packed them away and had some time tonight and figured I'd pull them out and start working on them again, see what I can get done before Christmas this year. What are you trying to motivate yourself to paint or build or whatever? Oh, I got red all over that. Nice. Not what I meant to do. It happened though. Okay. Nids guard terrain. Right on. What are you just not feeling it? Kind of drained and you're not wanting to you're not getting into it or trying to decide which one to paint? I know that slows me down. Oh yeah. Yeah, thinking about other stuff to do. Um Yeah, I do that too. I think something that I've been trying to teach myself to do in those instances is, um, there's kind of two categories. There's stuff that needs to get done, so I should probably do it. Chores and, you know, food and other stuff like that. How's children army to paint? Yeah. Yeah. It it starts adding up, right? And then there's the second piece, which is like stuff that I want to do, and I've really been trying to make time to do those things that I want to do because I find that they kind of make it easier to do the stuff that I have to do at other times. Your Emperor's Children, was it the new releases or is it an old set? Okay. I mean, it didn't come out really that long ago, I don't think. Wasn't that like a spring summer release, something like that? Yeah, okay. Okay. Well, I mean, March isn't that long ago. I've had these models for at least a year. I picked up Scaventide last year and I've barely painted anything from it, so I don't know. If it's there's something about like feeling like you have to paint something that kind of saps the joy out of it, right? So unless you're doing it for a tournament or something where you need to paint it because you want to be in the tournament, then like, paint what you're interested in. Paint what you like doing. Is there something in the Emperor's Children that is like, did you get burnt out on it or it just wasn't speaking to you anymore? You said you've been playing Emperor's Children for at least a while, right? Okay, diorama, right on. Is that something you're more interested in doing? Is the dioramas and like display stuff? Is my blue white still wet at all? Nah, that's pretty dry. Well, it's not bad. Boring painting the same models. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Um, yeah, there's something about like army painting, especially like the big batch army painting that doesn't really appeal to me. I would rather do something like what I'm doing here. Designing and building? Okay. Now, when you're saying designing and building, is that like kit bashing stuff? Are you scratch building? Like, are you sculpting? Spray them in the shelf calls them. Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's got paint on it. Why not put it away? It's done. I mean, realistically, if you're not gaming, they only need to be as you feel they need to be. So if you're just, if the thing that you are enjoying is kit bashing or assembling models and you just want like a flat initial coat down on them and put them away, then yeah, for sure. You want to sculpt, but you don't know where to start? Yes. I am in a similar boat. I think this coming year, I want to start doing a little bit of sculpting myself. Um, if you aren't familiar with them, Kinsfolk Miniatures. Let me write this out in the chat here. New to streaming, I'm trying to Kinsfolk. There we go. So Kinsfolk Miniatures just put out a video a couple days ago talking about different clays and their properties and mixing them together. He was specifically doing like a stress test for delicate parts, but I also just really like his models, his sculpts. There's like a lot of whimsy and fun and character in the models that he does. But he's probably got a lot of good experience and knowledge that you can probably glean from his videos and posts and things like that, right? So I would say take a look at that. That's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to kind of go through the back catalog of his videos and stuff. Beyond that, I would say maybe I'm not in frame at all. There we go. I would say maybe take a look at sculpting. I mean, there's plenty of people who will do YouTube tutorials on sculpting stuff in like digital mediums, right? So in Blender, in Nomad, in stuff like that. I think probably your best bet is get a bit of clay and start playing around with it, and then figure out what you don't know or don't have solutions to. Right? Like if you're coming across something that you're not sure how to deal with, then you can kind of look at, this is what I'm trying to do. Who's got a resource that I can kind of learn from to learn how to do it? Oh no, I got the dreaded recharge headset on my music. Oh well, that's fine. It's weird that Twitch was like, hey, this is the first time you've chatted on your own channel. I mean, it's not wrong, but kind of weird. Okay. I think go back in for a third coat on this guy. Yeah, the medium of this paint is pretty gloopy. I think I'm going to be a little bit more selective and pick out like the raised muscle groups and stuff like that, so I can start building in my highlights and shadows. So what's the diorama going to be? You said it's nids and guards, so it's like I'm guessing a battle scene. Oh, okay. Nice. And they're trying to fend them off or keep them from breaching sort of an outpost. Okay. Guard Psyker, right on. How many more do you have to get done? Or like what's the overall vision? Oh, nice. I'm not familiar with the zoanthrope, but it sounds like there's story behind it, which is cool. Got these little ridges. So who else do you like usually follow, or do you just kind of bounce around and take a look at what's happening on live stuff? Are there any creators who are interesting or inspiring for you? Okay, so it's like in the middle of the battle, and the Nids are already making headway into the guard post. That's cool. That sounds awesome. That wasn't dry. My mic is off. How did that happen? I might have just been mouthing to the music that I'm listening to. Yeah, I'm not what you would call a classically trained singer. Um, and so I'm going to spare you my vocal talents for now. Inside, have guardsmen getting ready to fight, but have some gene stealer called infiltrated. Okay, right on. I see where this is going. I have a small. I got to start collecting gene stealer box a few years ago, and I painted up some of them, most of them. I assembled the whole box. I did the vehicle. I wanted to do like a hazard yellow mining vehicle because it felt appropriate for what I was seeing on the box. Okay. Blow up the wall and cut the communication. Right on. Yeah, this diorama sounds awesome. Is this just for you, or are you planning on like doing a entering it in a competition or anything? Your local army's on parade next year. Nice. Nice. That sounds awesome. What time of year does that happen? Oh, okay, so they kind of concurrent with Right on. Well, you've got plenty of time to get it done. Yeah, work always gets in the way. That's one of those things that you have to do, not because you want to. But I mean, it sounds like the idea has you excited, which I think is going to keep you coming back to working on it, and you'll make progress over time. But if work's getting in the way, then yeah, good, you're starting early on it, right? And pick out these raised sort of ridges on the back. There we go. Is this going to be the first like big diorama you're doing, or have you done a few before? Just a case of focusing on it. Yeah, 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 for sure. But even those little bits of progress every few days adds up, right? And I think, at least for me, once I start seeing that I'm making good progress on something, I want to keep doing it and come back to it and continue working on it. So hopefully you'll see a little bit of that same, you said you were looking for motivation, and hopefully like continuing to make progress on it is going to continue motivating you to keep coming back to it and making more progress on it. I'm starting to think I put way more red on my wet palette than I actually need. I need another coat on that underbelly. Upside down grip. Okay, there we go. Let that dry for a little while. Trying to get some good even coverage on the coat here because I want it to look like a really kind of even leather, red leather. Okay, I think let those dry for a little while. I keep forgetting that's not stuck down. Okay, I'm gonna come in with white. Maybe not that one yet. Use a different one. Where? That's a little lighter. You can probably do a better jump than that, though. Okay, my bad. You gotta mix your paints, though. Otherwise, it's bad. There we go. That's kind of gunked up. Let me clean that off. And it's good old bone rocks. Yeah, for sure. When he's just cleaning the brush off and whacking it on the easel stand. Yeah. Okay. Give this one a shake. Come on. You're still blockage. That's why. Paper clip. Don't fail me. There we go. Just pry some of that gunk out of there. There we go. Now it'll work. Like magic. Okay. Question is, do I want a dry brush or do I just want to stipple it? I think I might just stipple it. Let's see how this works. Okay. Immediately switch to dry brushing a little. Cool. It just dried out immediately. Okay. I need a little bit of moisture in the bristles, but not that much. Whoa, slow down. Okay. Try this again. Yeah, that's better. Just go all over with this. Just keep going around stippling so it kind of blends it in a little bit at a time. This part of the mixtape always feels so like late 80s, early 90s. I don't know how to describe it. Like almost dream sequence sound. My hand's getting completely in the way of the camera there. That's better. I think it's probably the marimba. That's a big part of it. And I know nobody watching can hear what I'm listening to. But it is... Which track is it? Hang on, I can find this. I can figure this out. I have the technology. We're at an hour and 33 minutes in this mixtape. I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, but Los Abuelos de la Nada by Himno de mi Corazón, Verk remix. It starts at an hour and 32 minutes of the Lane 8 Fall 2025 mixtape. You know, in case you're curious. Yeah, there we go. Now it looks more like I want it to. Okay, set that one aside for now. Come in on the head of the snowman. Mm-hmm. That's enough to get that one started. This is why I don't get rid of these like super frayed brushes, is figure out how to use them. You just gotta give me 2 or 3 years. You know? What's my dog doing? He's just moving around. Yeah, just get more comfortable. All brushes are useful. They just have their particular uses. I have one where the ferrule came right off and I didn't want to put it back on, so I just have a stick. I'm keeping it. Someday I need a stick, you know? I mean, now that I think about it, that stick right there would be a good painting handle for something small, like a snowman's head. Yeah, blue tack the snowman's head on there. Exactly. Do I have any spare blue tack sitting around? Maybe. I mean, I know I've got stuff that I haven't taken out of the package yet, but okay. That's good. Probably go for another 20 minutes or so and then call it a night. Okay. Come back to this squig now that it's had a chance to dry up and really saturate in some of these colors on the raised areas. Speaking of throwing it back to, however long ago that was, 40 minutes ago or something, Kinsfolk Miniatures did a sculpt of it's a charging bull squig with like actual bull horns coming out. It's so cool. And he's made it available to sort of like kit bash however you want for free. And I kind of want to like a ring. So like chop the face off so I have the snarling teeth and the bull horns and put that on a ring that I can, wear around. Because I think that would just be super over the top and fun. Singing to myself again. Don't worry about it. The mic is probably still going. Okay, this is turning out pretty good. Ridge is there. Good. Lost it a little in the way the light was bouncing. Come in from the other side on that middle one. There we go. And get the little edges between the ridges. Mm-hmm. trying to find the words. Trying to follow the shape of these ridge lines and stuff a little bit in a way that kind of makes sense for how the light might fall on it. And keeping in mind that a lot of light's going to reflect off of the snow that it's running across. So I want to catch these sort of directly down facing sections, at least a little bit. Smooth out this where I pulled up some of the paint before. Cheekbone, jawbone, whatever that is. Cool. And I think I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit. And what I might do is shake this up. Okay, so this is a kind of very dark purple. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Can I open it? Did it seal itself shut? Maybe. There we go. It's a very dark purple, like wash shade tone that I made for another piece that I painted for a friend of mine. I'm just gonna try and put some of this. That's way more than I need on the brush. Like, it's practically black, but it's not quite black. Just thin this out some. And being brave. Let's try and catch some of these folds. So I'm going to go all the way over this. Get right in there because that's shadow for sure. Come up in here in the armpit. And I can always go back over with my red if I feel like I've taken this too far, but whoop, whoop. There we go. Okay. Okay, there we go. This is probably stronger than I need it to be, but I'll come back in with my red after and tidy it up and give it a little bit more highlight and shadow work on its own. I just wanted to kind of see. Oh yeah, I just touched that for sure. Just kind of wanted to see how it was gonna sit in here. The last time I used this, I ran it through my airbrush, and that was really helpful because I could do like a really light pass. The thumb's getting in the way. Not my thumb, the model's thumb. There we go. Okay. Get a little bit in here.